Fake CPS slash imposter showed up to this woman's house, Jessi McCombs, 7:30 in the morning in Marysville, Washington, to remove the child from the home. And they knew details about the kid and the mother.
I just don't want somebody else to end up in a situation like that or worse.
So we're going to talk about it. What you can do as a parent or a caregiver, your rights and safety tips if somebody unidentified tries to come and remove your children.
I see potential subscribers.
She says the man and woman knocked on her door, announced they were with CPS, and demanded she hand over her 4-year-old son Liam.
At 7:30 in the morning, a woman and a man approach. They're professionally dressed, knock on her door. They speak to her. They know her name, the child's name, and the child's date of birth.
Told me his name and birthday, and she knew my name.
They state that the child has an injury. She says the child's not injured.
She was there about my son's injuries and that they were to take him into protective custody.
And I'm assuming maybe if this is like some sort of ploy, kids get hurt all the time, so they figure they can maybe pull off, well, your child has an injury, so we need to remove your child from the home.
My son doesn't have any injuries, so I was just really confused and thought she for sure had the wrong house.
She asked them to identify themselves and they didn't want to identify, so she said this was a red flag. By the way, this story is from Kiro7.com, and let me just say this: you always have the right to request or demand identification, especially if somebody's coming to remove your child. Always question. The other thing too is, I'm pretty sure, now you guys comment down below, if social services, CPS, whatever it's called in your area, if they're coming to remove your child, they're supposed to be there with a police officer. Now, the other thing that was reported is that that car that those people came out of, that the CPS workers were in, they were actually driving around the neighborhood and looking around. Supposedly the neighbors saw that.
McCombs says another neighbor spotted the same strangers driving around in the complex later that day in an old Crown Victoria that looks like an old police car.
Now, before I get into some other things outside of this story, like tips and advice, the thing that was interesting about this whole scenario with, what's her name? McCombs, is that they said that there were some inconsistencies within the story or the report, because she says she called the police that morning, but it's reported supposedly, allegedly, that they didn't get the report till later that evening, that night.
McCombs says she then dropped Liam off at a daycare and then went to work. She says she called Marysville PD, but the department says they didn't receive an official report until later last night.
So that inconsistency is a little bit strange. That's something that I don't think you would somehow mess up, from reporting something in the daytime to the nighttime, but regardless, this could happen to anybody. Now, the tips or advice that I would want to give to parents out there, I'm the type of person that I'm a helicopter parent. Not when I'm at home and relaxed, but when I'm out with my daughter, I'm very protective. I'm watching, I'm vigilant. You know, a lot of people say, oh, relax, no, you're too much. No, I'm on top of it, because if you hear all these stories that go on and kids that get taken so fast in the blink of an eye, you'd be more aware. Now, what I wanted to say is that if you're at home, something that I do, first of all, I can never live anywhere without having an alarm system. I'm having an alarm wherever I move. I would say that even if you carry, you should have an alarm, because the thing is, if you carry and you have your thing with you, if somebody sneaks in the house, you have no way of knowing, and they'll get the drop on you. At least with an alarm, you'll have a heads up. You can grab yourself and arm yourself. So here's one of the advices that I wanted to give, that if you're at home, and like, for example, I'll give you my example. I go to take a shower and my daughter's here. I sit her down, she watches TV. Turn on the alarm, even if it's in the daytime, because believe it or not, I've heard of stories of kids, even Sophie Reader. You can check out the Sophie Reader story. Sometimes, first of all, if you have an older kid, these kids will sometimes try to sneak out at night. That's how Sophie Reader got missing. She snuck out, she left, and she was gone. Nobody ever found her again. Okay, the other thing too is I've heard of babies and toddlers. You go to take a bath, or you're sleeping, taking a nap, or whatever, they're in the other room, somebody comes in right through the window and takes your child. So my advice, that's how paranoid I am. Even when I go to take a shower, she's sitting right on the little thing behind me watching TV, I turn on the alarm, because there's nobody that's gonna sneak in here without me knowing. The other little bit of advice that I would give, which is really obvious, if you're out in public, and if you see this video clip, it was from a while ago, a couple of years ago, it was astonishing to me, because a woman walks in the store with her child in hand and the other one walking, and the lady said that she noticed that there was a guy outside of the store watching her the entire time. That guy literally comes and snatches that kid within seconds. That's all it takes. So you gotta be very vigilant, because these people, the depravity, they have no lives. They have no life. They literally They can watch your schedule every day. You need to pay attention when you're leaving your house, when you're driving, when you're coming back and forth from home. Is somebody following you? Or you're seeing the same kind of cars? You need to be very vigilant. These people have all day long to mark down on some little piece of paper your schedule, your timing, when you're home, when you're not home, everything. The last final advice that I would give before we end this off is, and this is personally something that I think you're very vulnerable when you're doing this, is when you're putting your child inside of the car and your back is turned, you're putting your child inside of the car seat. Somebody can easily walk up to you and do anything with you and catch you off guard. I suggest one of the things is you constantly turn around. That's what I do. I'm constantly, even at my home, even my own driveway, I'm looking like this every couple of seconds. The other thing too, which is what another parent told me, is that she gets inside of their car with the child and then locks all the doors, closes all the doors, and then puts the child in the car seat, which is a really safe alternative. That's another thing you can do too. It's happened here in South Florida. There was multiple stories. I forgot. There was a mall that a couple of people, there was a guy walking up behind women and their kids. As she was putting the child in the car, he'll come up with them with a gun and force them to get inside the car, make them drive off, and they'd never be seen again. So be very, very careful, because these people are experts in looking in vulnerabilities when you're not really paying attention and your back is turned. Especially for women, they're more likely to try that on women. So comment below, let me know your thoughts. Have a great day, stay safe, and yeah, man, these people have no life, bro. These people are watching every single second. All right, and just think what these imposter CPS people wanted to do with that child, right? What was their plans for that child, right? Take care.